Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to the channel. This is a case of 15-year-old boy Rooney Rolex. So what happened to Rooney Rolex? Just a young, brilliant, energetic child in high school. Let's get into the video. Rooney Rolex Odhiambo, 15-year-old in Form 2 at Ringa Boys High School, has died mysteriously. According to the family, Rooney had been sick for at least 2 weeks before they were informed to come and get him. Actually, in an interview with Ngugi, the mom said it's Rooney who called her and told her that he was sick and that he needed her to come and get him. Unfortunately, Rooney died just 4 days later while admitted at Kenyatta National Hospital. The family said they have failed to get any clear clarification from the school on why the school took so long to alert the family of Ronnie's sickness and only released the child when it was already too late. Ronnie's family, via her mom, also alleges that the school matron was very rude to her when she went to pick up Rooney, that at some point she actually wanted to send her away and did not want her to go home with her child. The class teacher also lied about having called Mama Rooney earlier. Anyway, let's get into the details that I have put together. It's been not very easy to put together information about this case. I know that there has been police intimidation on the family, so I feel like they are not really forthcoming with a lot of information. Even during that interview, if you have watched that video, I will link it down below. You can clearly see that the uncle is really intimidated at some point. He even says he's scared he might go to jail. So Rooney joined Ringa Boys in Form 1 last year. Her mom is a single mom and wholeheartedly has been raising him since he was a small boy. Rooney's mom, Jacinta Njeri, had prepared and saved for Rooney's high school. By the time Rooney was joining high school last year, her mom had worked so hard and saved about 60,000 Kenya shillings just in case Rooney wouldn't get a scholarship to help her pay for the tuition fee. I was hoping Rooney would get at least about 400 mark and be eligible for equity scholarship. Unfortunately, for some reason, Rooney did not get to 400, although he still performed very well. He had 354 marks. Mom says that she was actually shocked by this mark because throughout primary school, Rooney usually scored over 400, but she knew that Rooney is a brilliant student, so she said she would still try her best to find her a good school because she did not like the school that picked up Rooney. At this point, she starts looking for an alternative school for Rooney and she gets an admission letter for Ringa Boys. One thing I picked up in that interview, Ngugi's interview, is that Rooney's uncle also went to this school, so he studied at this school. In fact, he says that it is because of this school that he managed to get straight A's in both mathematics and chemistry. He even goes further ahead to say it's a good school and it's because of the strictness, hard work, and discipline that made him who he is today. Rooney's mom also went to the same school, but the girls part of the school. So Ringa is actually Ringa Girls, and then there's Ringa Boys. So Rooney's mom went to Ringa Girls. Unfortunately or fortunately, she got pregnant in Form 2 and had to drop out. So the pregnancy was actually this boy we're talking about, Rooney. So she got pregnant with Rooney in Form 2 and had to quit school. I'm not sure if she went back at a later stage, but she quit at Form 2. So again, you can tell this is a school that was known by the family. In fact, the uncle speaks highly of the school. He speaks highly of his teachers. He's actually in contact still with some of those teachers. So Rooney's uncle was the first person to bring Rooney's information on social media because as soon as Rooney came home and really got sick, he thought that something weird happened at school and how come nobody has spoken about it. So he quickly went to social media and I'm not sure, I think I've seen a couple of posts he did, but I'm not sure which particular post got him into trouble. So by the time he was going to the nearby police station, the police station that is actually near the school to report that Rooney had died mysteriously. The police already knew that he was going to go, and the police were actually expecting him. So he went, he wrote down his statement. After writing down his statements, the police at that station told him, this case is above us, you have to go to the DCI office, which is a headquarter. So he then went to the headquarters, and I think he was accompanied by 2 police officers, and I think he was made to, I don't know, to write some statement that he says he didn't agree with, that have actually incriminated him. So I think he's being charged for spreading false information on social media, something like that. He's out on bail. He's out on bail on 20,000 Kenya shillings bail. So you can see that already the family is kind of intimidated. They are afraid. The uncle is afraid that he might end up in jail. So something interesting with Rooney being in this school, her mom says that he did not like the school. After the first year, he had asked her mom if he could go to another school, but the mom wasn't ready at that point. But he promised him that he can just be in that school only for this year, and then she will do whatever she can, make sure that he's taken to a different school by the end of the year. It does appear from the interview with Lingugi that Rooney may have been a little bit withdrawn because her mom would ask why he didn't want to go back to the school, and he would refer to, the punishment, the style of punishment in that school. He did not like the way the school punished the students. And I'm thinking it's most likely caning. And I don't even know why schools are still caning children. I think it was banned a few years ago, so I really don't understand why this is still happening in schools. Anyway, the mom was trying really hard to organize herself for next year, and I'd asked Rooney just to hang on for the next 8 months, and then after that, she will try and find her or move her to another school. Let's talk about the tent story. So it's being alleged that 3 weeks ago, Rooney went back to school, that is Ringa boys, and I'm not sure when, I'm not sure of the dates. Nobody's talking about dates and timelines so much. So Rooney, being a bright student and well-behaved in school, he was made responsible for some admin tasks during Form 1 admissions day. I don't know exactly when this day was. I understand that there was a big tent that was erected for this event in the school. So Rooney was working, I believe, within the tent with other students, helping with admission of new students, or probably telling the students about the school. I'm not sure what admin tasks were or whatever he was doing, but I'm imagining he was probably telling the new students about the students and the parents about the school and things they like about the school and things like that. Unfortunately, on this day also, there were heavy rains and storm. And this storm actually brought down the tent, allegedly. Now, there's an anonymous witness that says that this tent fell on a student, and that student is actually Rooney. Apparently, during the incident, a blunt object hit Rooney on the head, actually forehead. I will put the video on the screen. You can see he has a bit of swelling on the forehead, allegedly. So when that object hit him, he lost consciousness. The school allegedly did not inform Rooney's parents. They did not take Rooney to the hospital. They only called the matron. The matron gave him antibiotics, and I'm not sure, if he was unconscious, they needed to rush him to the hospital and not just to administer medication, because at that point you don't know what is going on with someone. But the mother also says that the matron of the school is not paid unless he can justify that he's been seeing students. So that's already numbers, it's like you're in a sales job. It's the most weird thing. This is alleged again. It's just what the mom is saying. So Rooney was put on antibiotics up until he realized that he was really very, very sick and needed to go home, and called his mom. Jacinta picked Rooney from school. She says he did look weak, but did not say exactly what happened to him or how he was feeling exactly. Her mom then decided to take him to a hospital near the school, on their way back to Nairobi. He is given some more antibiotics, and they're on their way to Nairobi. While they were on the bus on their way to Nairobi, usually those buses would stop for a toilet break. And when he went to the toilet break, he came back to the bus and he told the mom that Oh my God, I almost fell down. Nimesikia kizunguzungu. But he survived the journey and they got back to Nairobi. Asked if he wanted to go to the hospital first, but Rooney said he just wanted to go home. So after, I think this is the second day, so they arrived early in the morning. He stayed at home. And then they went to bed. Now, the following day in the morning, one of the siblings goes to the mom and says that Rooney is dead on one side of his body, as in dead, as in he couldn't move one side of his body. And so the mom is concerned. She comes and looks at Rooney and then decides to take him to a private hospital nearby. The hospital recommends they do a CT scan and they also recommend a national hospital. At this point, Rooney's mom calls the uncle and then they all head to Kenyatta Hospital. Rooney then is admitted to Kenyatta Hospital, but at this point, the mom is emotionally drained, emotionally stressed. So the uncle takes over the admission process and being with Rooney at the hospital. Fortunately, just 24 hours later from the time Rooney is admitted at Kenyatta Hospital, Rooney dies. So this is a mini timeline that I have managed to put together from reading all the posts and actually listening to that interview with Lynn Ngugi. Into the details of the doctor's report as has been reported by the uncle and what the doctor thinks may have led to Rooney's death. The doctor at Kenyatta that attended to Rooney, he said that Rooney may have either fallen down or was hit by a blunt object that caused trauma to his head. And this trauma then led to him bleeding in the brain. He further says that Rooney started bleeding in the eyes and the mouth just shortly before he died. He says also that during the treatment, the doctor tried to call the school in order to establish what may have happened so they know, like have a little bit of a background of what happened, but the school was not cooperative and they insisted that Rooney was not hurt in any way in the school, that he just felt sick, and after 4 days, after 4 days, the parents were alerted and he was sent home. The uncle also says that Rooney had a cut at the back of his head. He also added that Rooney was generally a quiet boy, so it was not very easy to get a lot out of him. The uncle says he's not very happy with the death report because he says it reads something like Rooney died of leukemia, which he did not have, and that was just something that was procedural, that it was one of the tests that the doctor wanted done and had even removed part of his bone marrow to have that test done when Rooney was still alive. So he doesn't know why the medical report reads leukemia. Rooney did not have that disease. It's not a disease that runs in their family. Something interesting that the uncle also said is that as soon as they reported Rooney dead, the school reached out and wanted to cover the funeral expenses. That's very fishy to me. It's very, very fishy. He also added that allegedly a staff member from the school visited the hospital behind their back while Rooney was admitted. And shortly after that, when they tried to get Rooney's file, it couldn't be traced. The file had been misplaced, allegedly. So anyway, at this point in time, Rooney's body is lying at the morgue. The family is trying to fundraise for a funeral expenses. So if you'd like to support that, I will leave the numbers on the screen. They are also going to organize, or they're going to conduct a full private autopsy in order to determine what really happened so that they can have a closure. I don't think they're going to go further and prosecute. At least they haven't said that. All they're asking for is just they want to know what happened to their child. That's all they want to know. That if it was an accident, then the school should just come forward and let them know that there was an accident in the school. Unfortunately, their son was injured. But I guess the school is probably not going to do that because as soon as they admit that the child was injured, then people like us will start asking, why didn't you take the child to the district hospital or a national hospital? Especially if the injury was that bad. So I don't think this is something that the school is easily going to admit. But anyway, we stay positive. We still call out justice for Rooney. So if you want to call out justice for this boy, please just leave a comment in the section. If you want to support the family, of course, the numbers are on the screen. So this is all we know about this case so far, guys. This case is all over the place. It was a bit hard to cover, but I've just tried my best to put together the information for you, so it's a little bit easier to follow up. So thank you so much again for coming to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. On your way out, make sure you hit that little bell so that you know every time I post a video every single day. I am consistent like that. Thank you so much. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.